All good. Hello everyone. We're going to be doing a review today on a movie called Julia. It's originally released in 2008. It's a French film directed by Eric Zonka, starring Tilda Swinton. It centers around a 40-something, 50-something woman who is an alcoholic, and she gets tangled up in a kidnapping plot involving her neighbor's son, who desires to be reunited with her son, and the main character, Julia, played by Tilda Swinton, decides to take on the kidnapping plot on her own, and things take a turn for worse, which sets up the premise of the story. I really liked the film. I thought that the acting was superb. Other than Tilda Swinton, there was really not many big name actors. Even the child acting in the film was really good. The cinematography of both California and Mexico, where the last 45 minutes of the film take place, I thought was really neat. The color palette was really good. The story did kind of take a couple turns that were unbelievable and not practical, and there was a lot of lack of depth in explaining some of the story elements, especially near the end. Things kind of, I think, were not thought out very well, and the story's conclusion was probably not one that I would have preferred. There wasn't much closure there, but I thought it was really tense and gritty. It definitely didn't try and paint a pretty picture of a terrible situation. The main character is not someone I don't think anyone would look up to, but she still does a good job at, and for Tilda Swinton, did a very well job of departing from her, I guess you could say, high business class characters that we've seen in Michael Clayton or Burn After Reading. She's still a bitch in this movie, but in a different way. And I would also say that she covers up her British accent magnificently. You'd never think that she was from the United Kingdom at all. There was no trace of that. That was really well. I find that a lot of actors that are from Britain, often there's still a bit of a trace of their accent, but she did excellent. That's the first film I've seen her portraying an American character, so I like that as well. Yeah, the story did take, like I said, the story had a few bumps, but the acting was magnificent, and it was really had me interested in what was going to happen, so I'd say it was a pretty good film. I'd say I'd give it 7 out of 10.
Alright, so now it's my turn. Yeah, she, not so much that she gets tangled up into, she's not like kind of pulled into this. She like completely comes up with the idea, like first someone else wants to kidnap this kid and then she just does it herself. That's kind of where the movie starts off. And like throughout, you have no sympathy for her character. She's not really driven to do it. She's kind of like a raging alcoholic. And I thought that her character shifted from extremes a lot. And I thought that the extremes were kind of departed from her kind of seemingly initial character, and that there might have been some character continuity. I think Tilda Swinton did an amazing job in this film. I think there was like controversy. People thought that she should have been nominated for Best Actress. I think she did a better job than the person that wasn't the woman that was in Up in the Air nominated for Best Actress?
Well, supporting, yeah.
Best Supporting Actress?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, she probably did a better job than someone who was nominated.
Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, maybe better than Sandra Bullock, although the Academy is probably going to love her. How about, she didn't do a better job than the girl from An Education. She did, and,
Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep in the other Julia movie.
Yeah, the other Julia movie.
Yeah, Julie and Julia, yeah. Maybe some of you who are watching this are going to click on this thinking that this was for Julie and Julia. I give that movie like 9 out of 10, by the way. Just in case you thought that this was for that. Anyways, so back to this movie. Okay, so Tilda Swinton does an amazing job. Her character is not likable at all. I thought there's the continuity within her character kind of got thrown around a bit, but that's like definitely like a writing problem and not any problem by like her. I'd say that her biggest problem that she made was just taking the role. I didn't like this film. I didn't think that it was written that well. I think if I was to look at, if most people were to look at the screenplay, I'd like to think that most of them would turn this down. I don't know. Maybe the screenplay looked amazing, but I can't imagine. Anyways, the little boy who gets kidnapped, he was like the driving force throughout the film, because he doesn't really get brought into the film. It's a long movie. It's like 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
So it's like probably about 45 minutes into the film, he's really introduced, and he's like a functioning character in the film, and he's definitely picks the movie up. I'd say about 45 minutes into the movie, I was starting to get like pretty bored, and I thought it was going to end soon, and then he gets involved in like all the scenes with him, and it start to drive the film, because he kind of reacts in a way that I think is more realistic for children, because in most films, if a child gets kidnapped, they're usually I can't think of any particular films right now, but I've seen it from 90s films. There was one with Mel Gibson or something. Anyways, from the 90s, like late 90s, 89 or 98 or something. Anyways, so he actually reacted like a real person, and he was amazing. He did a really good job. I don't know, is there like a best children's actor?
No.
He would have won it. Anyway, so he did a good job, and then because the everything in this movie is like very adult. Like there's like all kinds of swearing and they do all kinds of mean things to him, like tie him up in the shower, leave him in a trunk for a couple days, or leave him in the desert. They do all these horrible things. So like he just worked really well with the material for being. I think he's probably older than 8, but yeah. Ultimately, I didn't like the movie. My opinion is that it got really convoluted and twisted near the end. Like the ending, just totally didn't work. And I guess it was trying to crescendo, but it was also getting like really far-fetched and ridiculous. So it did keep me watching. Like there's some points I was gonna leave and just not watch it, but then it kept kind of drawing me, like keeping me in the chair. But that's not that great. Like every movie should be able to do that anyway. So Kellen gives this like 5 or 6 out of 10. It wasn't a very good film. The actors basically pulled the movie together. So there you go. I guess. Do you have anything else to say about this movie?
No.
Me and Hugh argued a lot about this movie, so I think that at least we were talking about it.